Hi, I'm Jennifer and welcome to Salve Salento. Today's video is going to be on how you can buy a car in Italy. So we were able to purchase a car after we were already established in our town. Where we live, you have to go down to the town when you first get there with all of your paperwork. When we first arrived, we had our visas. So when you get there, you have a certain amount of time, I believe it's 7 or 10 days, that you have to register with the town, and then that's when your 45 days begins. The police may come to the house to verify that you live there and that you're actually a resident. If they don't come, after 45 days, it automatically kicks in. So once that time passes, you can go down to the town, to the main office, and tell them that you're a resident and that you want to get your identity card, the carta di identità. So once that happens, you've already been established in Italy, right? You've already gotten a visa or your citizenship, and you're in Italy, and you say, okay, I really need a car. For the beginning of your stay there, you're going to either have to do without a car or rent a car. You can't buy one as soon as you arrive. So once that time passes, yes, you're there for 45 days. It takes a little bit longer than this because they don't go right to the day. They might say, we haven't gotten your paperwork back. And at that time, what we did was we actually had friends in the town that could call for us, because when we arrived, we didn't speak Italian very well at all. We still don't really. I'm trying though, really trying. That we had friends call to ask about our papers, and then they said, oh, it's getting processed and we'll be able to go down there in, a few days or something to go pick it up. So we went down to the town, had our pictures taken to get our carta di identità. Then once you have the identity card and you get your certificate of residence that you're a resident in the town, you'll get that. You'll get your identity card. And by now you should have gotten your codice fiscale. So a codice fiscale is like your Italian social security number, kind of. They use it to track people purchasing things. It's not really meant to follow you. It's meant to detect illegal activity, they say. So when you buy things that are large, or whenever you're doing, official things, they want your codice fiscale. So you should have had this by now. If you've gotten your visa or your citizenship, you should have gotten this by now. If you haven't, you can file for it in the town. It's not very difficult. And if you need information on that, I can get you some information in the comments. So if you have a question, you can just put a question down there. Okay, so now you're there. You have all of your paperwork. You have your codice fiscale. You have your carta di identità. You have your Italian residence certificate of residency. And there's another thing that you may need depending on who you purchase your car from. So when we purchased our car, we bought it from a company called Brum Brum, which is so silly. They no longer exist. They sold out to a company called Kazoo. So in Italy, if you want to purchase a car from a car dealership or a car broker or another online entity that sells cars, because when we arrived, there weren't really any, and now there's a whole bunch. So there's especially one that I noticed, which is great, and it's made for expats. And if you do a search, say expat purchase car in Italy, it comes up, and they're familiar with helping expats purchase cars in Italy, and that you can just follow their directions, and they'll guide you through it. We needed the Testa sanitaria. So the Testa is the health card for Italy, and once you're there and you're established and you have all of these other documents, you can go down to the health department and get your Testa sanitaria. I will have another whole video on how to get the Testa, because it is a little bit involved and it does take some time. But if you're planning on being there and you're entitled to register for the card, then I would definitely go down and get that. And then you can use the health system as much as you want, right? So now you decide where you want to purchase your car. You can either go to a car dealership. They'll do all of this paperwork for you. They will register the car. They'll pay the bolo. You'll have all of these things that you need to pay, like the registration and the inspection. Obviously, the car is brand new. And if the car is a brand new car, you don't need to get this inspection done. I believe it's over 8 years old. Is it 8? I'll find that out, and I'll actually put that down in the comments if somebody wants to know exactly how long you need to have the car before it has to get inspected. And that lasts every 2 years. So if you purchase a used car from a dealer or a used car broker, you will get something called the libretto. So on the libretto, they call it the little book, right? On the back of it is printed every time the car gets inspected. They run this libretto through the machine, the printer, and it prints on there when you got the last inspection done, and then it gets registered. So you have to have the car inspected, and this is very, very, very important. So we didn't know, and we had said, the car had to get inspected because we just bought it last year, but they go by every 2 years. So it doesn't matter if the car was resold or whatever. They'll go by the libretto, and it'll say on it exactly when it was inspected. And ours was expiring in a week. And I said, oh no, and our friend said, you better go and get that car inspected, because if you get pulled over by the police and your inspection is expired, then they'll take your car away. They'll impound it, and you won't get it back, or it's really difficult to get it back. And I said, I definitely don't want that. So I rushed over to the service station, and I said, can I get an inspection done? And they were very nice there, no problem. If you wait a little while, we're a little busy right now, but we'll get it done. And I think the whole total time I waited was about an hour and 15 minutes. And they were really nice, and they do all the safety checks. They print on your thing, you pay them, I think it was about 75 euros or something like that. Very inexpensive to get done, and well worth it, because I don't want to get my car out of being impounded. So one thing is the inspection, and the other is the registration. So there's couple of different websites, different agencies that you can actually register the car with, and you can check it. So say you purchase a car used, and you said, I don't know when the last time it was registered, or if the registration is correct. I own this car now, and I don't know if the person that I purchased it from has changed that registration for me. So the one that we used was the Automobile Club d'Italia, and they have a website that you can go on. You put in your plate number, and then they will want to SPID verify that. And if you're in Italy and you're planning on spending an extended amount of time there, I would definitely recommend getting SPID, the app on your phone, and then registering with that so that you can use that, because you need that verification app to get on any of these websites. They all use a two-step verification, and they'll use your phone number, your email, and things like that to make sure that it's you that's making these changes. And you kind of need it for everything. Anything that has to do with the health department, anything that has to do with the government, you need that. So it's an important thing to get. So once you go on that website, the Automobile Club d'Italia, you'll put the tag number in, and then it'll tell you all of the information on the car. When's the last time it was registered, when the registration expires, who's listed as the owner on that car, and it should be you when you go on there. If it's not, you can submit changes and say that you're the owner of the car now and that you can change it. They did it for us because we purchased it through a broker, but if you do it through a private owner, you buy a car privately, and you don't need the Testa to purchase a car from someone privately, but I'll talk more about that in a minute. then you can just make sure that either they changed it and it got processed, or you can change it. So those are really the only two things that you need to make sure of when you purchase the car. And that site, the Automobile Club d'Italia, will actually have a spot where you can pay the registration on there. So say it's expired or it's expiring soon and you need to renew it. You just go online and you can pay by bank transfer. I think we did bank transfer. I'm not sure if they have a credit card option, but by now, if you're living in Italy, you should really have a Wise account. That is the best account to have to be able to convert your money and to add money from your US accounts so that you're able to buy things over there and just put money in euros. I can have a separate video on that too, why you should get a Wise account. It's very important because you pretty much will use it for everything that you do over there that they want bank transfer for. A lot of people don't take credit cards for things online, and you actually may have a lot of trouble trying to use your credit card online because when it verifies the address, and the address that you're putting in on these sites is going to have to be the Italian address that you're using, and your credit card may not accept that Italian address, even if you verify the transactions. Some of the international credit cards are very good about this, and they don't have a problem. Our bank, we don't have a problem using it for a lot of international transactions, but some of the banks don't, and they're not easy at all, or they just will flat out refuse it. So you're better off having a Wise account to do these things. So another little bit of information about buying a car. So you know that in the United States, when you purchase a car and you can leave with it the same day, they do not do that in Italy. It takes them a long time to prepare this paperwork. It could be a few weeks. So I would plan ahead and see what you need. So I would go, soon as soon as you arrive, after you're registered in the town, after you've gone to the town and registered, before you get all of your paperwork back, you're looking at buying a car. I would go around to the car dealers and decide what car you want, and then speak to them about what you need to be able to purchase the car, so that as soon as you get all of this paperwork, they might have to get a car in. You might want to order a car, or get one from somewhere else that's in Italy or Europe somewhere, that they'll be able to bring the car to you. And then once you're ready to purchase it, with all of your paperwork, you'll be ready to go. So then you won't have to wait when that time comes, because it is a lengthy process. When we purchased it online, I remember the date that we actually locked in the purchase of the car. So they held the car for us. It was about a month before we actually got the car. So it took them a few weeks to get all of the paperwork together. And then they had to arrange the transport and ship it to us. So we didn't have to go somewhere to get the car. I think if we did want to go pick it up ourselves where it was, we could have just taken the train and gone there and probably gotten it about a week or so, a little, sooner. But we decided, no, it would be easier if they just brought it to us. And I believe they only charged us about $200, 200 euros for the transport, which was very inexpensive. So it was worth it to us just to wait and have it shipped. But so it doesn't happen instantly. If you're really eager to get a car, you should make sure that you have all of these other things in line first before you try to go buy a car, because that just takes a little bit more time at the end. And rental cars in Italy are very expensive, if you can find them at all, depending on where you're located. If you're near an airport, you can always rent a car from an airport. Obviously, they have a lot of cars there, but they are much more expensive. So it may be good to get into the town, start to get to know the area, and then find out where there's places around that you can rent cars from, because there may be a lot of private people that are renting cars that aren't listed as a major car company. And a lot of times you can get a car rented from them for a lot more reasonably priced, and you won't have to spend the premiums that you would have to spend if you were renting from an airport. So I hope that this covered all of your questions for purchasing a car in Italy. If you have any questions that I didn't cover or that weren't really clear, you can put a comment down at the bottom. And as always, if you like and subscribe, please do that. That really helps our channel out a lot. So I hope that this helped a lot. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Ciao.